Welcome to Beauty Flip. I'm Edda, and I'm here to show ordinary people what's so extraordinary about themselves. Today, we are diving into all the crazy archetypes that trip us up. Let's do it. Let's look at our fabulous it girls. Okay, I hope I haven't scared you off. I mean, those last two episodes, a little bit of a doozy. Like everyone's like, yeah, old news to some degree. And yeah, oh my God, don't want to hear the stats. Don't want to hear the stats. I mean, they're kind of ugly stats. And it's terrifying if you are a woman or are raising a woman in this country and potentially other patriarchal countries, knowing what is the uneven playing field that you're going to be on, right? Yeah, because it's not just about career and it's not just about getting a guy and it's not just about kind of trying to stay on the path. It has some very, very steep slopes and ultimately, to some degree or another, just places where people could fall off. So, okay, before we go into ugly, I thought I would do a little bit about the allure of what are the it girls throughout the last century. And before we go there, we're going to go into just like a little bit about the data because I want you to look at just the research in general. The research basically shows that there's like a cultural logic that begins to emerge. And some of this is that if you are fat, overweight even, you will be socially punished. If you're ugly, you'll be socially erased. And so to be socially protected means you must be thin and pretty. So it's not to say that women are vain and potentially some women more vain. It is to say that we, at a very young age, around 10, start seeing what the playing field is. Yes, at that age. And we realize that we need to figure out a strategy, a strategy. And if you just look at yourself, your strategy, maybe deeply unconscious, is there. Now, there's one other aspect to this strategy, which is the alluring aspect of what marketing companies and potentially the sort of overall response to how women are reacting to this call to the uneven playing field. So we're going to go and we're going to look at the last 100 years. Hello, nice to see you, 1926. And we're going to start there and we're going to see what the heck was going on, kind of like in the bigger picture of our world. And what does this mean for the women and how they were called to present themselves and become in order to be relevant? So, without further ado, I present to you the it girl for the last 100 years. Oh my gosh, it is so good to see all of you. I'm so glad that you're here enjoying my podcast. Yes, welcome to my podcast, The It Girl. Oh my gosh. See, I know that you've been talking to Etta and she's been telling you all these things that are so hard for women. But I'm the answer. Yes, I am. Because if you could be like me, be an it girl, all of your problems would be solved. Yes, my lovely lovelies. We are going to talk today about just what is so alluring about being an it girl. Well, that was fun. I mean, don't we all? Don't we all want to be the it girl? Yes, we do. We so want to be the it girl. We want to have that fabulous outfit that everyone was raving about at the party. But not only that, everywhere I go in my leisure outfits, I am so perfectly dressed to impress, but not impressive. Oh, because I am the perfectly, naturally relaxed, woman who has no worries, none whatsoever. I am a size 0 to maybe 2, or 4 at most. My hair is either just beyond my shoulders to all the way to my butt, and I have the perfect blonding techniques. I wear the perfect amount of my day moisturizer and then the perfect amount of tinting bronzing. Feel me. I'm so perfectly natural. Everything about me looks completely, utterly, wonderfully simplified. I look so at ease. Yes, yes, my lovelies. You too could be an it girl if you just tried as hard as me. Yes, come and be an it girl. Okay, can we all have a giggle? I mean, to some degree or another, part of you are like, yeah, no, I kind of want to be her. Yeah, we all do. We all actually want to be her. We all really do. We love her. She is telling you all about the latest trends about everything. What designers are in, what designers are out, what clothes are in, what clothes are out, the makeup tips, the clothing tips, the way to style your hair, where to go for your bachelorette party. Is it Ibiza? I think that's outdated. Yes, this is the fabulous it girl fantasy, the one that we all really, truly want and even revere, the it girl. Yes, we love her so much because we think she's escaped the uneven playing field. Oh my God, she's escaped the uneven playing field. She does not need to worry about the pressures, especially the ones that Edda has been talking about lately. And let's just look. She actually does diet and exercise, and it's working for her because she is so darn good looking. We actually think that she is the one woman who is getting out ahead of us on this uneven playing field. And yet we are also like, bravo for the it girl. We love her because here's the thing, the it girl, she's so casual and she's so chill, and she doesn't ever really look like she's trying to take anyone down. No, she actually is very much a feminist and believes in supporting all of her sisters everywhere all the time. And yet she too, I hate to say it, oh my God, I'm so sorry for bursting your bubbles, is on the uneven playing field. Yes, she is. And to some degree or another, the uneven playing field reveres her too, because this is what gets us all up every single day, playing, getting our cleats on, getting our outfits on. Yes. We all have found, if you will, sort of the heroine for women to become. Now, this is not the first heroine. We have had many heroines in our lifetime. So let's take a look at how we have come to it girl heroine and why she is so alluring to women and why it still is the uneven playing field. I am so sorry. We're going to take this back to basically 100 years ago. And we're going to look at how there's always an archetype by which we are basically being marketed to become in order for us to, if you will, fill our role in society, and so that the various manufacturers and or people who sell things can sell to the role, right? Let's dive in. Let's go back basically 1930s, and we're talking sort of pre-World War II, after World War I. Things are a little bit tighter in this time frame, and women were asked to become the dutiful homemaker. So the job was for a woman to find a partner, get married, and then ultimately run the home. And ultimately, families were like figured around surviving. There was little to no glamour, and women were expected to figure out how to mend clothes and fix things and keep the house afloat. And it really was a big job because, unlike today, there were no appliances. So they were cooking and cleaning and doing everything by hand. This messaging was be grateful, be small, be resourceful, and please do not ask or need of anything. Ultimately, before we knew it, we were in a world war and we needed women to help out. So we then had the most amazing woman. Still, sometimes even we see these pictures. Rosie the Riveter. Yes, this temporary worker. Please know at the time they thought temporary, we only want you for a little while and then we want you to go back into your homes. And this was this patriotic working woman who was there to help with winning the war. We were there to help win the war. We ultimately were sort of like given the role of being sort of someone who would work hard for the nation. But don't forget your place. You're never going to be more than just a riveter in the factories and whatnot. The things that were probably marketed to us and the things that we would do is we were given things like maybe work uniforms and even like our hair and whatnot tied back, very like austere kind of feel and look to us. And so the place where we could get a little bit of glam was maybe some lipstick, cheap, inexpensive, but just a little bit of glam. Suddenly we win a war, and now there are things that are being built. All these manufacturers who were maybe building airplanes, etc., could turn to build other things with these kind of engine type things that they were building, and they started building appliances. And there was growth. There was great growth in America. Growth, yay, America, we love you. And we ultimately moved out to the suburbs, and women were supposed to be the perfect suburban housewife. Ooh, yes, love that. We were supposed to return to our post-war normalcy. And we were ultimately the ideal wife. And we were buying things that were ultimately for the appliances, for running the home, cleaning products, beauty creams, because we needed to remain beautiful. Diets. This was the first wave of dieting. Oh my gosh, happens. Oh. And cigarettes were very part of that because they helped with appetite control. The messaging here was your worth is in your home and in your husband and in your beauty and in your children. Yes. But then there was like these things that started like not adding up, and women did not actually like being housewives. And there was some agitation in our culture. And ultimately there was ways that we were sort of starting to push back. And there was a little bit of also like the beginnings of a sexual revolution. These were places where the pill like was, I think, being produced and coming online. And so ultimately there was the archetype, the youthful, then, oh yes, remember, we're now dieting, mod girl. Yes. And she, Twiggy, was probably like our very biggest archetype. We all wanted to be Twiggy. And ultimately, this idea of the beauty ideal kind of shifted so dramatically. And it had this edge of sexual revolution. And we ultimately started dieting and wearing mini skirts and false eyelashes and really like became everything that we could to be a little bit more edgy, not so much demure. And we really wanted to be thin, young, cool, and maybe a little bit of invisibility if we couldn't be thin, young, cool. Okay. So here we are, we're in this major sexual revolution, and yet people are getting married. And so after you've like been, like the mod girl, and now you're married, are you happy? Are you happy? And so then there was this movement to tell women, you can have it all. You can have it all. Don't worry. You can be a career woman and you can be a mother. You can be sexy and you can be a wife. And so the 70s became this sort of crazy split. And these are these places where we would hear these songs by Anjali, which was a perfume. I can bring home the bacon, banana, and fried up in a pan, and never let you ever forget you're a man, 'cause I'm a woman. Anjali. And so then, the idea was that you would go out and buy Anjali, buy, gallons, and you would be a sexy career woman who still had a lot of sex with your husband, I guess. This idea of the 70s, we were definitely trying to look beautiful, trying to feel sexy, and trying to diet and lose weight. Yes, it has not stopped. There were definitely feminist magazines and women stepping up and taking on and going for things in their life. We were wearing pants. Crazy. Like, if you look at some of the craziest stories, like in the 70s, women were not allowed to wear pants. Yeah, no. And even like if you wore pants, like say in court, you could get thrown out. Yeah. So things like pants were a really big deal. And ultimately, women were ultimately trying to be free, but still look good doing it. In the 80s, we had kind of like this big archetype of being like the superwoman, which is like, if you will, kind of taking the 70s and kind of putting it on crack. So, like, basically, this is the woman who has it all, has it all. And they were doing aerobics because that's what we all did back in the 80s. We were like fully like exercising, doing our aerobics with Jane Fonda or whomever. And we also were like so into making money. Capitalism and fitness were the two biggest pushes in the 80s. Let's make money and be thin while we do it. Yes, my lovely, lovely, lovelies. Here we are, this superwoman who has it all. And we are doing our aerobics and we're doing our gym memberships. Yep, this is when the gym memberships come online. Oh, and we're eating low fat foods. And we're now not just wearing pants, we're wearing power suits. Yes, we are trying to look like men. Sexier though. And now, my lovely little human beings, this is when plastic surgery began to come into the mainstream. Women and men started changing their features so that they could be the woman and man who has it all. Let's see what happens in the 90s. Well, you can imagine the 80s were full of a lot of cocaine and a lot of other drugs. And guess what? So that kind of stuck a little bit. And we go into the waif cool girl. And who is our fabulous archetype? Yes, Kate Moss, effortless, teeny, chill, girl. There's a little bit of grunge backlash kind of happening here because we're so tired of 80s new wave. So we just are angry people, angry music, angry. Backlash to all the 80s excess, backlash to the 80s excess and trying to win and be everything. We are now ultimately trying to figure out how to be more chill and check out a little bit. And there is a cultural shift. It is called literally heroin chic fashion. Mostly women are waifs, and mostly women are so skinny and so tiny and so like washed out in their features that they look like they could be on heroin. Maybe they are on heroin. So point being, we are now here, and the diet culture. Yes, my loveless, fat-free everything. Everything is fat-free. Please don't eat butter. Please don't eat anything that has actual fat. We are going to give you fat-free everything. So you can eat everything you want to eat. Oh, and while you're at it, diet culture 2.0. We now have things that you can buy in the grocery store, and all you have to do is stick it into your microwave, boop, 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 and eat it. And it is fat-free, and it is potentially nutritious. And we are also in the face of that. Finally, guess what starts to come online? Oh my God, the Victoria's Secret angels. Bodacious, so curvy, so big titted. Yes, my lovely lovelies. But now we move on. The 90s, they come and they go. and we want something else. We don't want heroin chic anymore. We want hot girl, hot, sexy girl. This kind of comes from this place where we're looking at reality TV. And so some of it is like maybe based on reality. Who knows? But we're looking at this hyper sexualized, low rise jeans body. Ooh, oh my God. Remember the whale tail? We all remember the whale tail. How could we forget it? And if you weren't around in the 2000s, thank God you didn't ever have to see a whale tail because they were everywhere. Yeah, that's when your butt crack is sticking up above your jeans. That's a whale tail. So women's bodies become public property. Ooh, makeovers, diets, fix yourself culture explodes, exploding. And we now have the things that even are more insane. If I had to say diet culture 3.0, where we have extreme diet. This is where we are like cutting calories at very high rates, HCG, juice fasting, all sorts of things, just like bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Spray tans explode. Yes, let's all look tan. Let's all look glorious. Let's all look like we just came from a beach vacation. Plastic surgery reality show. So not only are we doing plastic surgery, we're now watching people do them. Yeah, as I mentioned before, we are wearing our low-rise jeans and our asses are hanging out, and we are wearing in bikinis, and we are ultimately even working out so we can have most of our body hanging out of our bathing suits. You are at this point, the message is you are a project and you must always improve constantly. And if I could just add in, so that you could get further up the uneven playing field. Well, as if that would be enough, my lovely lovelies. But this basically leads us to people who are like showing off who they are, like in reality. And some of them start to catch fire. And before we know it, we have these people, we've never heard of this term before, but they are influencers. And these fabulous little influencers, maybe at first very organic, very like chill people who are just trying to do a good thing and trying to tell friends and then friends of friends and friends of friends of friends of friends things to do and what not to do and how I did a thing. But before we know it, this influencer wellness girl takes off like a fire. And I just want to tell you right now, oh God, this is where things really go off, because we now are looking at the curated, not real, curated, clean eating, aesthetically perfect woman. This woman lives in your Instagram feeds all the time. Oh, and probably also your friends. Oh, and probably also your husband's Instagram feeds. And oh, probably also any male friend's feed that you have. This is the norm that we need to be, let's say it again, curated, clean eating, and aesthetically perfect in every way. And it is a huge industry. Perfection becomes a lifestyle. How can perfection be a lifestyle? Because like there's no such thing, but it does. And the new healthy is considered thin, thin, thin by all costs, thin. You are marketed in 2010s, probably even still today, detoxing, clean eating, yoga pants, supplements, skincare routines, and all sorts of influencer merch. And I am sure if you pull out your makeup cabinet or your clothing, you will have some influencer's product that you bought. And maybe it's good, but you bought it because you were trying to be perfect. That didn't work. So yes, the cultural message, my lovely, 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 lovely Be perfect. Be perfect. Be perfect. Oh, but there's another part to it. But pretend it's effortless. So be perfect. But pretend it's effortless. Did I tell you? And that's where we come now to our next most fabulous archetype. It girl. Oh my God, she's amazing. She's so fab, the it girl. So the it girl, that girl, the clean girl, the soft girl. She is so trend driven. She knows all the trends, knows them all. Imagine the research she has to do between midnight and 8 a.m. so she can get to work with the trends given to her. She is optimized and she is algorithmic approved. Oh my God, all the algorithms love her. TikTok and algorithms, I kid you not, are what created this trend. So unfortunately, these trends now come so fast. So you might be in today. This is like what did they say on Project Runway? You might be in today, but I'll lead a sign tomorrow. You're no longer worthy. They come lightning speed, and the women are expected to reinvent themselves constantly. Are you tired yet? Are you tired yet? I'm tired. The it girl is a moving target, engineered to be unattainable. Did you hear that? Let's say that again for anyone in the back row who was not listening. The it girl is a moving target, engineered, created, literally like built to be unattainable. Fuck. So, what is marketed to you to become an it girl is GLP weight loss drugs, skincare stacks, aesthetic lifestyles, micro trends, which change every 3 to 6 weeks, cosmetic procedure, everything from just the basics, consider this now a basic, Botox and doing dermaplaning, to deeper, more profound surgeries in order to make yourself look like the trend, doing things like eyebrow tattooing so that you have the eyebrows that are now in fashion, to doing actually eye surgery, lip surgery, etc., etc. Wellness routines, glow up content, and self optimization. The current call to this uneven playing field is definitely be thin. Don't you even think for 1 second you would be anything else. And be everything, all the time. Make sure it looks easy. So easy. So easy. We live in an economic driven world that markets us first and foremost to potentially some of the needs that we have as human beings, but ultimately drives how we will fit in. So the drive for example, TikTok and Instagram to remain powerful and making a ton of money is going to market ways for you to become the next it girl that some person last week, the week before, 5 weeks ago was. You are desperate to want to become the it girl. You might not even realize it. Maybe not the it girl like the it girl, but you are hoping you're just going to at least fit in with the tribe. You want to be at least maybe an it cheerleader somewhere along where you can at least sit on the bench and you can be part of the it team. So ultimately, we can sit here and we can say that we have defined ourselves as American women. We have not defined ourselves. It has never really truly been self-defined. It has always had an edge of marketing of what made sense culturally and potentially very specifically to people who were building things to sell to us so that we would buy. There is always this level of an archetype that demands that we shrink, perform, and perfect. And we have been dieting, I know I said since I was 13, but basically since the 1950s. And we haven't stopped, and it's more and more intense, and it's crazy because we are asked to actually really now perform. And ultimately, if we are going to flip the script, I'm encouraging us, the next wave of womanhood is to just actually stop and say, what if the next wave of the female in America is to define for myself what matters to me and my body, and to stop the crazy call of trying to fit in to some it girl or superwoman or influencer, hot girl, waif, woman who has it all. What if we let it go? Let it go. Yeah, let's flip the script. Let's do it. Let's do it, my love, believe, fabulous human being. I'll see you next week.
Okay, all you fabulous boos. That was a ride, 100 years of archetypes that have called us up onto the uneven playing field. Time to stop. Anyway, see you next week. Bye, y'all.